Hi, I'm Kyle Randolph. I'm a technical specialist here at JumpCloud in Boulder. Welcome to our onboarding video series.
Today I'm going to be talking to you about using AD Bridge, and more specifically, I'm going to show you how you can replace GADS and AD Connect using JumpCloud. Now in the previous video, we added users and groups into JumpCloud through the AD Bridge, effectively allowing you to extend your users from AD into the cloud. In this video, we're going to cover leveraging JumpCloud to replace GADS and AD Connect. But if you'd like to learn more about some other common use cases for our AD Bridge, please follow one of the provided links below. Now, in this video, we're going to first outline the core requirements to get our G Suite and Office 365 synchronization in place. Next, we're going to go through taking over an existing G Suite and Office 365 account from JumpCloud. Next, we're going to go through creating a new account directly from AD into G Suite and Office 365 through JumpCloud. And then we're going to go through disabling an account in G Suite and Office 365 through JumpCloud. Now, before we begin, you'll see that I have a few windows open. I have the G Suite Admin Console, the Office 365 Admin Console open, as well as the JumpCloud one. And in the other window, I have our user Kayleen Landy, who are going to take over her account in Office and G Suite, and she's currently signed into both of those resources. And lastly, I have our AD domain controller. Now, one thing to note here is in order to allow JumpCloud to synchronize accounts between AD and G Suite and Office 365, you have to authorize JumpCloud to write and manage user accounts respective to each platform. Now in G Suite, this is done using super admin credentials, and in Office 365, you'll also authorize our OAuth session using your global admin credentials. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and do the takeover process for Kayleen over G Suite and Office 365. So first, I'm going to open up the users aside, and I'll navigate to directories. And I'm going to select G Suite and Office 365. Now, you can also do this at the group level in our dev section. So if I navigate to directories, I could also enforce this against a group of users in the directory. Though in this case, I'm just going to do it on an individual user level. Now, let's navigate to our domain controller and have Kayleen Landy change her password to enforce and allow JumpCloud to take over her respective accounts in G Suite and Office 365. Now, while I'm showing this password change occurring on a domain controller itself, your end users will more than likely be making this change on a domain-bound resource. We'll go ahead and sign out our user on each respective service, and we'll give the JumpCloud agent a moment to synchronize that password from the domain controller so that we can now sign in using that newly set password. Alright, and now that we've given the domain controller the time to synchronize the password over into JumpCloud, let's go ahead and sign back into Kayleen's account using her newly specified password. Cool. So now we've effectively established the sync to G Suite and Office 365 from AD for our user Kayleen. Now let's show a little bit of a different process here for creating a new user account. And in this case, we're going to take our user Roger, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add him to G Suite as well as Office 365. And now, just like Kayleen, I'm going to navigate to our domain controller or a domain-bound resource and change his password. And now that we can see that Roger's account has changed from a pending to active state, we can note that he's changed his password successfully on the domain controller or on a domain-bound resource. And further to that, with Roger's account now active, JumpCloud has proceeded to create that new account in both G Suite and Office 365 through the Directories tab. And we'll do a search for our new user, Roger Lone. So we can see it is newly created and now active. And let's take a look at that as well for our user, Roger. On Office 365. So effectively, through our platform, you're able to easily synchronize accounts, take over accounts, as well as provision and create new ones. So let's look at the next piece of this process, which is revoking user access from those resources. And in this case, just like I added Roger to those directories, we're going to go ahead and remove him. And let's take a look once more at Roger's account, both in Office 365 as well as in G Suite. And we can see his status has changed from active to suspended. And if we pull open that user once more in Office 365, we can see that his status is now blocked, thereby ensuring that this user is no longer able to sign in should they leave the company. Now, to recap, we outlined what requirements were required to get this configuration in place. Then we covered taking over an existing account for G Suite and Office 365 from JumpCloud. Then we covered account creation from AD into G Suite and O365 through our platform. And finally, we covered disabling an account in G Suite and Office 365 through JumpCloud with an AD managed user. Now, if you'd like to learn more about other common AD Bridge use cases, please follow one of the links that we've provided below to learn more about our platform and this integration. Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more about this topic, please navigate to our knowledge base at support.jumpcloud.com. Or if you'd like to speak to a member of our team about our platform, please email us at customersuccess@jumpcloud.com. Otherwise, subscribe below to stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.